Well, hi, everybody. I'm Emily Johnson, and today I am speaking with Adam Choit about his film, The Edited, which will be screened at the Valley Film Festival this year. Adam, welcome.
Oh, thank you for
Um,
having me. I appreciate it for sure.
it's great to see you. Just to give the audience a sense of what they're gonna see, what's your elevator pitch for The
Oh,
Edited?
let's see if I got it down. I think I do, but let's give it a shot here. So, taking place in the near future, The Edited is a dystopian psychological satire about an earnest misfit girl who enters a new high school in a new part of the country. She finds it's a strange school where they literally edit history, science, literature. They teach that Big Brother is the hero of 1984. They teach that it's the Declaration of dependence on the powers that be, that is. So we wonder, in the spirit of Stepford Wives and Get Out, will this new pupil fight for truth, or will she fall victim to this cult-like environment? And that's pretty much it.
And very appropriate for our current times.
That's I'm sure we'll dig in a little bit more on that. Well, perhaps, but yeah, that's something that's definitely jumped out at me, even more so after making the movie, realizing how prescient it is. And in the movie, I have it like sort of taking place in the near future, 2050, whatever it is. It's probably too far into the future.
Or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
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 it's
something like
kind of
that.
kind of there. Yeah, I was actually, you know how Facebook gives you those like remind the memories of this thing? 4 years ago, I posted the definition of moral complacency, which is basically you believing that your moral opinion is infallible and therefore you don't have to listen to anybody else or justify it to anyone.
Yeah,
And it's just like, no, I just like put that away.
yeah. Only I'm right all the time about
Right,
things.
exactly, because I thought it out and I'm perfect. Well, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to check it out. So you were the writer and the director.
Correct.
How did this come about? Did you also self-finance? How many hats did you wear? What was it like?
Well, it's been kind of a long journey, I suppose. The film was sort of championed, or definitely championed, by this nonprofit organization that's no more. It was called Taliesin Nexus. One of the producers were Patrick Reasonover and Matt Edwards. I'll just throw those names out there, give them their credit for sure. It's a nonprofit focused on civil liberties and a free society and all sorts of issues along those lines. And I applied to a fellowship and was part of a few other programs with them over the years, and applied with this story, and it went through a long development process and pre-production and everything, and the whole 9 yards. But that's kind of the broad overview.
That's awesome. So did they take on like a producer role or did they just mentor you?
It was kind of both. Probably, I would say mostly mentorship. I mean, they sort of acted like a studio in the sense that they would give notes before greenlighting your projects and things like that. But ultimately, the filmmaker had kind of the final say in everything, and they wanted us to be the filmmakers in the fellowship to be happy with the end product and excited about things, and all the notes I really liked, and it was definitely sort of a grueling process to some degree for sure, but helpful suggestions coming from various places, and just going through the process was great for me personally and
Awesome.
professionally.
Awesome. Um, has it been getting play anywhere else?
I would say that it's going through a festival run right now, kind of going through that. A couple of things overseas. I kind of, in applying to festivals, I didn't want to go super duper crazy, because the submission fees, of course, can add up. So I, shoot for some local stuff, shoot for some New York stuff where I'm from originally, shoot for some other ones in the country and around the world that are, look halfway decent. And I've kind of got into some, got not gotten into others, but I'm pretty pleased. I can't complain. I've gotten into, at least two handfuls worth, double digits, I think, at this point, or close to it, in festivals. And so I'm happy with that. And then after that, really just looking for some sort of distribution outlet. I got my eyes and ears to the ground for that, either online or on some sort of somewhat reputable platform that can get it views. I know this is just a short, so I'm not really setting out with the goal to make money from it or anything like that. But whatever can be beneficial to the project and in a good home ultimately. I'm gonna be looking for.
Yeah. Where would you, like, if somebody was going to take away from this, like, what would you want them to learn, or, what message are you trying to make with it?
I mean, that's such a question that I could take in so many different ways, and there's a lot of themes, and I think about them in this film. But really, like, just when you hearing you ask that question, what jumps out at me is just really, and it sounds generic and cliche almost, but like just questioning authority and not trusting what you're being told, no matter what it is, and really thinking for yourself and using logic and facts and reason and all these things that humanity should uphold as virtues, but don't always.
Right. Yeah. Critical thinking skills are severely lacking in our education system right now. So
Yeah,
uh,
that's for sure.
I support that. I support that message.
I appreciate that. So I think society and civil society does as well.
We'll see. I'd like to believe that that is true. Um, I wonder where we're going, Um,
We'll see.
that is a whole different conversation.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what inspired you to write this?
Honestly, I originally the idea that it may not even sound totally related was about someone who was a girl who was homeschooled, and it was going to be I was kind of thinking of a series idea about a girl who was homeschooled and then enters a new school, and it's a public school, and it's sort of a skewering satirical public school, but really sort of really what school has become, and they're all essentially zombies. And that was part of the development process. How much of zombies are they literal zombies? Well, how much do they know? And that was like a big conversation. So that turned into she's selling books, original versions of books before they were edited, um, almost as if they're like drugs, like illicit substances. She's selling. She's a book dealer in a sense, and that became the school. Just teach straight up teaching more about that. Just teaching non facts that are beneficial to the powers that be in society.
Right.
I hope I answered that question. What the hell was the question?
Yeah. Well, like, what was your inspiration for it? What was the germ
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
in your head that
that was it, and just it never really lost the spirit of you know the power of and danger of the danger of authority and the importance of questioning that and challenging societal norms, so to speak.
Yeah.
In this case, public education or school
Right.
in general, what people are being taught.
Yeah. Um, did it turn out the way you thought it would?
Um, yes and no. Like I'm very pleased and very happy with the ultimate film that we made, and everyone connected to it should be proud. And I appreciate the cast and crew and everyone who helped me along this journey for sure. But originally, I thought I was making Idiocracy, but I think I ended up making more of a Black Mirror episode, which is okay. So that's kind of like the direction I ended up going with it. I love Black Mirror. I've seen a bunch of those, of course, and Twilight Zone. I've seen most of those. So I love comedy, but I also have a little bit of a sci-fi sort of streak in me. That type of sci-fi, the Black Mirror, Twilight Zone stuff.
Yeah. But it's interesting how things can sort of evolve on their own through the process of, like, actually putting the film out there, of shooting it scene by scene,
Right.
and also just actors, how they might interpret it differently than you wrote it.
100%. I wrote a film in my head, and this is how it was in my head, and this is how I imagined it would be, and this is how I imagined the tone would be. But even if I wrote something like that in my, in what was in my head, I directed something else. The actors acted something else. Not bad, not whatever. Just ultimately, what was shot was something else, and what we could do in post, and certain limitations and challenges and whatnot. I had to kind of go with what I shot and let. I keep coming back to sort of a phrase that is just like let the film be what it sort of wants to be, and
Mhm.
not try to make it something it's not, tonally or otherwise.
Right. That's awesome. That's great advice for other filmmakers.
Sweet. I'm helpful.
You're super helpful. Yay.
I'm helping.
Do you have any memorable moments of something that just was like sublime, or something that you had to chop, or something you thought was going to be amazing, and then you were like, "What was I thinking?"
Oh, what was I thinking moments? Um, I would say, I mean, nothing I mean, there's little decisions and in the editing room and whatnot, but nothing really like that jumps out. I mean, people always ask about like challenges and whatnot, but for me, like the whole process was a challenge, but really just like the sort of day-to-day interaction with everyone involved with the film. That's where I think I learned the most and experienced the most personal growth, and just, you know, trying to keep everyone happy, but not try to keep everyone happy, because there's definitely a hierarchy in filmmaking, and you want to make sure everyone is appreciated, but at some point there are some hard decisions to be made, and you can't make everyone happy. So a lot of stuff to do with just like day-to-day leadership and interacting with others connected to the film is where the, I suppose, challenges, but not in a bad way, but like the learning, a lot of the learning and personal stuff for me, I think that's what jumps out at me when you ask that question.
Do you have a favorite moment in
Do
your?
I have a favorite moment? Um, I don't know. I would say any of the sort of finishing stuff is good. When I knew the script was done, when we finished shooting, those are always good feelings, I'd say. When maybe seeing the first like real rough cut, like not even, it wasn't even rough. It was really the editor, Sasha Patsenka, she did a great job, and just like I remember seeing like the first rough cut, seeing shots start to come together in the story form, and not really having a lot of comments about her, the instinctual things that she put together, based on her years of experience in editing, and just seeing that was that moment jumps out at me, and just the cast and the crew and their support. That sort of feeling is something that sticks with me. Maybe more than a feeling, maybe more of a feeling than a moment, I suppose, is what sticks with me.
Gotcha. Um, so just to to clarify, new question.
Do it.
I mean, is there a moment in the film of like two characters like having like a chemistry, or just like the tingle moment that you're watching the film? Like, what's your favorite moment of the film?
Yeah, I think I know. I mean, there's moments I mean, I have sort of lost all objectivity to some degree seeing this film a billion times. But well, I maybe I shouldn't give it away. I'll try to dance around it. Should I dance around it a little bit? I don't know if people are gonna. It's just coming out before the.
Not a full spoiler, but just like when there's a point where two people, or there's like I don't know.
Right, right. I would say when the teacher and the new student Trudy sort of have their climaxing moment where he's really trying to break her down and break her spirit, and we wonder, will she, her spirit be broken? Will she comply with the society, or won't she? There is, I suppose, that scene and that moment in the movie, and that definitely sticks out at me. And I've gotten some comments about it, and from friends and people who've seen the movie. So,
Yeah.
and that sort of jumps out at them as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Adam, what's next for you?
What's next for me? That's a good question. I'm sort of I have I want to make a feature film. I really do want to make a feature film. Some people have I've been working on an idea. I'm in between drafts that's totally unrelated to this, but this is something I would be open to developing further. people see the movie and everyone kind of has the same, or many people have the same response. It's just, what happens next? I want to see more. When's the series? I want to binge watch this. Maybe I can develop a feature out of this, or a TV series or something like that. Um, who wants to write it for me? Let's find someone to do that. No, we'll see. I want to continue to produce scripted stuff and continue to write, and whether it's series or features, keep going for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad it didn't completely turn you off to the filmmaking process.
Oh no, not at all, not at
Sounds
all. The
interesting.
opposite. Perhaps unfortunately to some degree, because now I feel like committed. Not that's a bad thing, but like, it's another thing to add to the list of I suppose aspirations for myself is continuing the filmmaking.
Amazing. Well, the film industry is probably very, very lucky to have you. Well, thank you for spending a few minutes with me. Is there anything else that you wanted to share, note that I forgot? Anything at all?
No, I don't think so. Other than maybe just, of course, thanking you guys again for the time and for having me here and in the festival and part of the closing night as the schedule says right now. So that's just an honor, and I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm at Adam Choit on Instagram, my name. If people want to follow me, you can find all my other projects. I host a couple of podcasts, and I'm a filmmaker, obviously, and always work on a bunch of different things and looking to connect with people, with cool people and like-minded people.